Next at 6, Oregon sees its highest COVID case count since January.
It seems to me that this is the fastest rate of rise of cases that we've seen.
We ask local doctors why Oregon is seeing such a surge.
Then, remembering Sergeant Jeremy Brown.
Jeremy wasn't just my brother, he was my best friend.
Thousands of people came out to help honor the Clark County Sheriff's Office sergeant who was killed in the line of duty.
Plus, Team USA is racking up the medals, making history on the track and on the mat. We're recapping all the action live from Tokyo. KGW News at Sunrise starts right now.
Hey, we're going live to Tokyo right this second, as a matter of fact. The Olympic flame burning brightly on this Wednesday morning. Kurt Gregory, NBC's Kurt Gregory, will join us live here in 15 minutes with the latest on the games.
Hey, happy Wednesday, everybody. So glad you could join us. All week long, Nina is out at Portland Japanese Garden talking more about the connections that we have east and west. What's coming up today, Nina?
Yeah, Brenda, as you said, we've been talking about those connections, and this week it's all about business. And today's story, I think, is just really cool. There's a new store that recently opened in downtown Portland that imports vintage Japanese fabric, like from kimonos or other clothing and accessories, and reuses it on more modern Western style clothing to create a really unique look. It's a Japanese ideology to use everything and not waste. Back from when it was an isolated island and everything made there needed to be mended and reused. So stuff wasn't piling up, taking up space. So coming up here in about 45 minutes, we're gonna show you the store called Kiriko Made and why the owner says Portland is the perfect city for this mentality. We'll have that coming up at 6:45, guys.
All right, Nina, look forward to that. Yesterday we saw Nina in the coat, suggesting maybe it was chilly at the garden. Today it's just a light sweater. I ask you, though, weatherman, what is going on?
It was much warmer yesterday, so Nina's out of touch with what's happening around her. Here's a pretty shot, some early morning sunrise color from Stoller Family Vineyards Estate, 62 down there, Dayton. We're at 62 in Portland, but a lot of you are waking up in the 50s, so overall, it's a little bit cooler to step outside this morning. 77 at noon, the same hazy afternoon expected with a high temperature about 92 degrees.
Rob, thank you very much. It is 6:02 this morning. We do have breaking news in Northeast Portland. It appears a major gas leak at MLK and Prescott has been fixed. This is a live look at what's going on right now, and you can see the fire truck there. They are starting to leave the area. Portland Fire evacuated people who live in a 2-block radius. Our photojournalist on scene just talked to a woman who had to evacuate her apartment around 2 o'clock this morning.
We started seeing the firefighters, and then they eventually told us when we were outside that we had to evacuate, so we just grabbed our stuff and left.
Emergency crews on scene say this all started after a car hit a gas meter. Pacific Power has also shut off power to about 3,500 customers in that area. We will keep you posted, certainly, as we learn anything else.
Another one of our top stories this morning is Oregon's latest surge in COVID cases. So yesterday, the state's daily case count was the largest we've seen since January.
But as Catherine Cook tells us, it's the growing number of hospitalizations that worries health officials the most.
On Tuesday, state health officials reported 1,575 new COVID-19 cases in Oregon. That's one of the highest daily case counts since the pandemic began.
It seems to me that this is the fastest rate of rise of cases that we've seen.
Dr. Ann Loeffler is deputy health officer for Multnomah County. She attributes part of the steep rise to the Delta variant. She says it's 2 to 3 times more contagious than the original viral strain and more likely to cause breakthrough cases. That's when vaccinated people get COVID.
Now, there's some data that at least some people who have breakthrough cases have high amounts of virus in their nose. But guess what? If they keep their mask on and they keep their distance, they will not spread it, even if they don't have symptoms, even if they don't know it's COVID.
It's why state and local health officials stand by their recent recommendation that everyone, vaccinated or not, go back to wearing masks in indoor public spaces. Health officials are most concerned over the increase in COVID-related hospitalizations, the most they've seen in Oregon since last winter. As of Tuesday, the count stood at 379. That includes 119 patients in the ICU.
The problem is that the hospitals are very full. And even if you don't get COVID, you want the hospitals to have space for you if you're in a car accident.
The state is not seeing the same kind of rise in COVID-related deaths. They reported 9 on Tuesday. That's in line with the death rate we've seen since March. However, Dr. Loeffler says people rarely die within the first couple weeks of getting COVID. That means we may not see deaths related to this surge until next month. Bottom line, doctors tell us most COVID patients who end up in the hospital are unvaccinated.
The vaccines are still great.
For that reason, Loeffler hopes holdouts will get the information they need to finally feel comfortable getting the shot.
The good news is the vaccines are still preventing the most severe disease. They're preventing hospitalizations. And that's what we were hoping for.
Catherine Cook, KGW News.
At least 3 major health systems in Oregon are planning to require employees to be vaccinated for COVID, even though an old law stops them from doing that. Peace Health is the latest system to announce a mandate. It's based in Vancouver, but has 4 hospitals and 16,000 employees in Oregon. It joins California-based Kaiser Permanente and OHSU in requiring the shot. So, you may be wondering how they're able to do this with that old law in place.
It's a good question. I think that law is certainly a barrier. I think we're looking at this as a public health emergency. We're hoping to have some support from our government officials in sort of being able to implement these standards.
As you might imagine, not everyone is on board with these decisions. The Oregon Nurses Association is against it. It believes a mandate will lead to more nurses leaving Oregon hospitals. Governor Kate Brown told us last week she believes hospitals should have a choice in the matter, but no word yet how that may happen.
Right now, we want to get to a few more of our local headlines this morning, and we start in Oregon City, where police are asking for help to find that man right there. He's 68-year-old George Pickett. Officers say Pickett walked away from the adult care facility that he lives at in Oregon City Monday night. Pickett also used to live in Portland, so there's some thought that he might go back to the city. He also has mental health and medical conditions, so if you see him, you should call Oregon City Police. The Burgerville in the Lentz Park neighborhood of Southeast Portland is temporarily closed. Burgerville CEO says it's because of vandalism and crime in that neighborhood. Employees who work there have found weapons, drug paraphernalia, even human waste on the property. There's no word yet on when that location might reopen, but Burgerville says employees working there have already been offered positions at other nearby locations. The ongoing drought throughout the western U.S. is leading to a roundup of more wild horses, including horses here in Oregon. U.S. land managers capture horses in areas that they consider to be overpopulated, where food and water is in short supply. Emergency roundups started up again on Sunday. About 6,000 horses were targeted here in Oregon, as well as in Colorado and Nevada.